My wife gave our son a different name on the birth certificate, her ex's name. When I confronted her, she said, "Yeah, he's not even yours. What are you going to do? Divorce me? This is a no-fault state. I'll take half, loser." I didn't say a word. I just took a DNA test, hired a lawyer, and started packing. 3 months later, she was outside my building, sobbing, homeless, begging me. And I'm still processing how one piece of paper changed everything. It's been only 5 days since my son was born. My wife, Vanessa, 31 years old, had a difficult pregnancy. There were complications and a lot of stress. I'd been by her side through all of it, every appointment, every scare, every late-night run for whatever craving hit her. We've been married for 4 years, together for 7. I thought we were solid. When our son was born, I was over the moon. I held him and cried. Everything felt worth it. Vanessa seemed tired but happy. She told me she'd handle the paperwork while I went to pick up some things from home. I didn't think twice. When I got back, she said everything was done. I believed her. 2 days later, I was sorting through the paperwork for our insurance and noticed the birth certificate. That's when I saw it. The name listed for the father wasn't mine. It was her ex's name, Ryan. At first, I thought it was some kind of clerical error. I asked her calmly about it. That's when she laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Yeah, he's not even yours. What are you going to do? Divorce me? This is a no-fault state. I'll take half, loser." I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I just shut down emotionally. The next morning, I ordered a DNA test kit. 2 days after that, I collected the sample. I contacted a lawyer that same week. When the results came back, 100% not mine, I filed for divorce. I moved out while she was staying with her mom to recover. I didn't tell her where I was going. I changed all my passwords. I opened new bank accounts. I transferred my direct deposit. She didn't see it coming. Over the next 3 months, the truth must have started to dawn on her. Mutual friends started reaching out. Vanessa's tone changed from smug to desperate. She called, texted, emailed. I didn't respond. I let my lawyer handle everything. Eventually, her mom kicked her out when she realized the extent of the lies. She showed up outside my new place, crying, begging me to talk. I watched through the peephole and didn't open the door. I still can't believe how one piece of paper, one signature, exposed everything. I've learned a lot about people in these few months. About trust, about betrayal, about protecting yourself. I'm still processing, still healing. And I know this isn't the end of it legally or emotionally. But one thing's for sure, I'll never ignore the details again. And I drove to my new apartment. The feeling of calm was surreal. Not the reaction she had expected, I'm sure. 72 hours later, well, it's been a journey. Thank you for the comments and direct messages. It's good to know I'm not completely crazy for reacting the way I did. 72 hours refers to when I'm writing this. The main confrontation happened Wednesday afternoon, the same day I discovered the birth certificate. Vanessa came home from her appointment around 2 p.m., according to our neighbor Ted, who texted me. There was a lot of shouting about 15 minutes later. Then the bombardment began, 21 missed calls, 31 text messages. They're all blocked. I read a few before blocking her. What the hell did you do? You can't just leave like this. This isn't how we're supposed to handle this. You were supposed to stay and support us. Or pay from afar. Not fight. You'll regret this. She also started sending emails. Those were filtered into a special folder that Jessica advised me to create. Don't delete anything. Don't respond. Document everything. The panic in her messages was clear. She hadn't expected me to discover the paternity so quickly. She hadn't expected me to leave immediately. And she definitely hadn't expected me to fight legally. Her plan was falling apart because I wasn't following the script she had written for me. By that evening, she had called reinforcements. Her mother called too, blocked, but left voicemails. "Mark, this is Sandra. Vanessa is distressed. You need to come home right now and discuss this like adults. This isn't how things are supposed to go. You have responsibilities. Responsibilities? To a child that isn't mine. To a woman who deliberately deceived me. The sheer audacity. Vanessa must have realized I was serious. By the second day, she finally contacted Jessica. First with threats. Tell your client this isn't what we discussed. He can leave if he wants, but he needs to keep supporting us. Otherwise, I'll take him through everything. Jessica's response was perfect. My client never discussed any arrangement regarding a child that isn't his. We have DNA confirmation and documentation of your admission of paternity fraud. We'll see you at the preliminary hearing. That changed the tone quickly. By yesterday, Vanessa was begging to know where I was staying, claiming she just needed to talk. When that didn't work, she sent her sister Diane to my office. Diane cornered me in the parking lot. Mark, you need to go home. Vanessa made a mistake, a horrible mistake. But this isn't how it was supposed to go. You were supposed to leave amicably and support them, not fight legally. It's not my child, Diane. It's not my problem, I finally said, seeing the full picture. That doesn't matter, she told me. She said she would release you from real parental responsibilities. She just needs your financial support. She can't do this alone. So that was the plan. Either I stayed and raised another man's child, or I left but still paid for everything. Then why even tell me the truth? Because she thought you'd be reasonable. Thought you'd understand the situation and do the right thing. The right thing being to continue funding her lifestyle while she raised her lover's child. The arrogance was astounding. Please leave before I call security, I said. Cold bastard, she spat. After everything Vanessa has done for you. Done for me? Like cheating for a year and trying to pass off another man's child as mine. Jessica filed for an expedited hearing based on paternity fraud, though she warned it could still take 6 to 8 weeks to get a court date. We're pushing for Vanessa to cover all legal fees due to her demonstrated bad faith. The kicker came this morning, a text message from an unknown number, but obviously Vanessa using someone else's phone. Alex wants nothing to do with us. He blocked me. You can't just abandon us like this. We need you. Her backup plan failed, and now she's desperate. I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. 6 weeks later, the preliminary hearing finally happened last week. The judicial system moves at its own pace, even with expedited requests. Vanessa showed up looking exhausted, baby in a carrier, an obvious play for sympathy, which the judge completely ignored. Her lawyer seemed unprepared for the evidence. Jessica presented the DNA test, documentation of Vanessa's admission, and a financial breakdown showing that 80% of our house was purchased with my premarital assets. The judge was unimpressed with Vanessa, especially after Jessica played a voicemail Vanessa had left for my brother, not knowing we weren't close. Tell Mark he's making a huge mistake. I'm going to drag this out until his lawyer's bills bankrupt him. He'll regret this. That's when the judge ordered a freeze on marital assets and scheduled an expedited final hearing in 45 days. The judge also ordered Vanessa to provide a full accounting of all expenses since our separation and to vacate my home office where I had equipment for my consulting business. Though this is a no-fault state, the judge declared, the court does not look kindly upon attempts to manipulate the legal system through fraud or bad faith actions. Outside the courtroom, Vanessa tried to approach me, baby in arms. Mark, please. You know me. We can work this out. I kept walking. All communication through counsel, Jessica reminded her. You'll regret this, Vanessa called after me. Vanessa shouted after us. This isn't just about you and me. This is a child. A child whose real father you should be contacting. Jessica replied without breaking stride. Over the next week, things escalated. Vanessa was ordered to return my work equipment but claimed that something had been damaged in an accident. She also emptied our joint checking account, $3,800, which Jessica immediately reported to the court as a violation of the asset freeze. The judge ordered her to reimburse it or face contempt charges. Then last week, somehow she got my new address, probably through a mutual friend who thought they were helping, and showed up banging on the door, baby crying in her arms. Open the door, Mark. You can't hide from your responsibilities. We need to talk. I didn't open the door. I just called building security while recording her through the peephole. Jessica filed for a protective order based on harassment, using the recording, the security team's police report, and the documented pattern of escalating behavior. The judge granted a temporary order pending a full hearing. In the meantime, I've been rebuilding, reconnecting with friends that Vanessa had subtly pushed away, sleeping better than I've slept in months. There's a strange freedom in seeing someone's true nature so clearly. Update, 3 to 4 months later. The legal process dragged out longer than I expected, but we finally had our day in court. The judge, clearly irritated by Vanessa's ongoing games, missed financial disclosure deadlines, lost documents, and another attempt to contact me despite the protective order, was thorough in their review. The hearing ended in less than 3 hours. The outcome, the house to be sold, with 80% of the proceeds to me, reflecting my larger initial contribution and documentation of premarital funds. My retirement accounts remain solely mine. All property purchased before marriage returned to the original owner. Vanessa was ordered to pay $8,000 of my legal fees due to her pattern of bad faith actions, about half of my total costs. I was legally declared not the father, with no support obligations. The court ordered the birth certificate to be amended. Vanessa broke down when the judge ruled on the paternity issue. "But Your Honor, he's the only father this child has." Alexander isn't. The judge also recommended that Vanessa pursue a paternity action against Alexander through family court, noting that the child was entitled to support from his biological father, regardless of Alexander's marital status. "Your personal arrangement with Mr. Reynolds is not the concern of this court," the judge said. "The child has rights independent of your relationship status." The house sold within 3 weeks in a hot market. I kept my job, my savings, and most of my sanity. Through mutual friends, I heard that Vanessa had to move in with her parents in a small town 50 miles away, making it impossible to cover her old sales territory. She eventually took a retail job with much lower pay near them. The arrogance is still there, though. Last week she emailed me, "Mark got everything he wanted. The least he could do is help me with a down payment for a condo. After 4 years of marriage, I deserve something." Jessica's response, "The court has made its determination. Please review the terms of the restraining order before attempting further contact." Final update, 6 months later. Life has a strange way of coming full circle. Yesterday, I was leaving my building to meet a friend for dinner when I saw her, Vanessa, sitting on a bench across the street, the baby in a stroller beside her. When she saw me, she stood up hesitantly before crossing. She looked different, thinner, hair tied back, wearing simple jeans and a plain sweater instead of her usual designer clothes. "Please," she said when I stopped. "Just 5 minutes." Against my better judgment, I nodded. "I lost my job last month," she said bluntly. "My parents are selling their house and moving to Florida. I can't, I have nowhere to go." I said nothing, just waited. "Alex still won't acknowledge the baby. He won't even take a DNA test. Says his wife would leave him." Her voice cracked. "I've applied for emergency housing, but there's a wait list. I'm sleeping in my car some nights. What do you want from me, Vanessa?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Help. Just, maybe you know someone who needs an assistant or has a room to rent. I'm not asking to come back. I know that's impossible." Alexander stirred in the stroller, and she automatically rocked it to calm him. There was a time when this would have broken me. But I felt surprisingly calm, almost detached. "Vanessa, you arrogant piece of shit," I said as I walked away. The revenge wasn't in the legal victory or keeping my assets. The real revenge was in this moment, being able to stand in front of the woman who had tried to destroy me, who had laughed at the idea of me fighting, and feel nothing but distant calm. She had expected me to be a doormat, to accept her betrayal or pay for her new life. Instead, I had quietly and methodically dismantled her plans and rebuilt my life on my own terms. I had proven her wrong in the most fundamental way. I wasn't a loser. I was a man who knew his worth and refused to be manipulated. That night, I slept better than I had in years. Sometimes the best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme, it's simply refusing to be a victim and letting the natural consequences unfold. The life she tried to steal from me is gone. The life I've built in its place is entirely my own.